For this lesson, you will practice using the applique technique to create raised shapes on the flat surface of a clay slab. You will practice using tools as you score, slip, and blend pieces of clay together to create clean, strong attachments. Applique is a decorative technique used by artists. The technique involves scoring, slipping, and blending separate pieces of clay to a primary clay surface. Applique is one way to create high areas of three-dimensional relief on your own work. Notice how these artists use applique to help represent three-dimensional subjects on the surfaces of their clay forms. Let's practice some applique. Step 1. Prepare one LEATHERHARD slab. Use a square 3x3 inch template, ruler, and a knife to cut one LEATHERHARD slab to size. Pay attention to the details. Use the pads of your fingers to smooth and round out the edges and corners of the LEATHERHARD slab. Step 2. Prepare one small plastic slab. Use the rolling pin, spacers, cloth, and plastic clay to roll out a slab that is approximately 1/4 inch thick. Finish the surface by smoothing and compressing with your rib. Step 3. Create two geometric shapes. Use a pencil to draw two geometric shapes onto your plastic slab. For this lesson, make sure that each shape is at least 1 inch. They should fit on top of your 3x3 inch slab so that they don't appear overly crowded or overly sparse. Use a knife to carefully cut out each geometric shape from the slab. Step 4. Define the areas to be scored. Position each shape on top of the LEATHERHARD slab. Use a pencil to trace around the shape, creating a boundary in which you will add score marks and slip. Step 5. Score, slip, attach, and ooze. Score both surfaces to be joined. Remember, scoring roughens the clay, creating a texture that will give both pieces of clay something to grab onto, somewhat like Velcro. Dab slip over all the scored areas. Gently press the shapes to the slab until you see the slip ooze from the entire seam. If you don't see the slip ooze, you did not use enough. The extra slip will decrease the amount of gaps that you will have to fill. Allow the slip to slightly stiffen to a plastic state for 5 to 10 minutes. When the slip changes from a shiny to a dull surface, you know your clay is ready for the next step. Step 6. Blend the edges and seams. Experiment with using different tools to blend the edges where the separate pieces of clay will join together. My favorite tools for blending and cleaning are tools with flat, broad edges. If you don't have these in your toolkit, you can make your own with some popsicle sticks and sandpaper. The goal during the blending step is to fill in the gaps, clean the edges, and make the attachments stronger. Blend just the edges where the pieces attach together. Notice how the extra slip helps to fill the gaps with just one pass of the tool. Also, notice how I pull or slightly scrape a tiny bit of clay from the top of the attached piece down over the seam. You know you're on the right track if the finished product is seamless and clean. You don't want to see any separation where the two separate pieces were joined. Step 7. Clean unintentional textures. Do you notice the slight textures left by the tools? You may use your fingers, a stiff brush, sponge, or other tools to pull away or blend unwanted clay and clay textures from your surfaces. If you use a brush, clean and dry it frequently. A wet brush only floats over the surface. A clean, dry brush easily moves and pulls the unwanted clay away. Remember, use gentle pressure to avoid distorting your applique shapes. Step 8. Document your work. When you have completed the lesson, document your work with a photo. Set up your photo exactly like the teacher's example here. Then, answer the reflection questions. Step 9. Wrap and store. Wrap your work in plastic and store it in a safe space for later. It's time to practice. Get to claying.